Okay, so again, we're in the transformations unit, and in 8th grade math, you're responsible for translations, reflections, rotations, and dilations. And this video is about translations. So a translation is when we take a figure and we slide it. Now, one of the things that I think oftentimes y'all get confused about is you think that when you slide it like directly from point A to point A prime, okay? Well, what actually happens is you don't do that. So like think about it. If I'm driving my car and I live, let's say it doesn't matter where I live. I cannot drive. Let's say this is the school and this is my house. This is the school and this is my house. Can I drive directly to my house? No, because there's stuff between us. I got to take the roads. Okay? If I drive directly from school to my house, I'm going to drive through people's houses. I'm going to drive through the Kroger. I'm going to drive through like Lee Elementary School. It's going to be a whole situation, and I'm probably going to go to jail. So I can't do that. All right? We don't just drive right through everything we see. Okay? We have to actually take the streets. Okay? So when we do a translation, we're not going directly from A to A prime. We're moving horizontally and then we're moving vertically. Okay, just like when we plot a point, we move X and then Y. So we're moving left or right. In this case, we're going right and then up. But we're moving left and right, and then we're moving up or down. Okay, so when I do this, my translation rules are always going to be plus or minus, plus or minus. So I'm always going to be adding or subtracting. So if I see a rule where I'm not adding and subtracting, I'm not translating. Okay, so if they give me this and say, what's the rule? And it's multiplying, it's not what I want. All right, so I always add or subtract. I'm going to see xy turns into x plus, x plus y minus, some combination of this, comma, that. All right, now the other thing is remember when I'm not proud of this, but here we go. Okay. This is the weird looking one, right? Some of my coworkers talk about Optimus Prime, who's a transformer, and I'm 1,000,000% down for that. My kids know that I am all Transformers all the time. Used to watch the cartoon when I was a little kid. Like, I'm old school Transformers. I'm the OG Transformers fan. But that requires you to remember that this means prime, and I'm not convinced that y'all do. So they're saying Optimus, he's a truck, and then he transforms into Optimus Prime. And just between you and me, the problem I have with that is that Optimus Prime transforms from prime into a truck. So it's actually kind of backwards. So what I think about is, this is funny looking, it's weird looking, right? So when you were little, we're not proud of it. Nobody's proud of it. But what did you do? You pointed at the weird thing. Oh, look at that, it's weird. So we're pointing at the weird thing. We're moving towards the weird thing. This is where I start, the weird thing's where I end up. Story of your life. Welcome to growing up. Okay, so let's talk about mathematically what all this means. Okay, so we have this worksheet, same worksheet I've been doing over and over again. All right, so it says the figure was translated some number of units blank and some units of number of units blank. All right, and they give me this rule right here. Okay, so I see this rule here. Now, even if I didn't know that it was translated, when I look at this rule, I see adding and subtracting. So that tells me that what's happening is I'm shifting this thing. I'm going left or right, and then I'm going up or down. So this is the tool that we're going to use. When you see a problem like this, the first thing that you are always going to do, always, 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 is you're going to draw this guy right here. And it's just like kind of like a exaggerated coordinate grid. What's important is the arrows. And then we're going to label it. You know, this is my vertical axis is my y, and this is where my positive y's are going up, my negative y's are going down. Okay, this is my horizontal axis is my x-axis. This has my x is subtracting x is going down, and as my x's get bigger, more positive, they go right. Okay? So, this is the first thing we're going to draw every time we have a translation. We're going to draw that. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to look at this rule and you're going to circle the one that matches it. So I have an x minus, so I'm going to circle x minus. I have a y minus, I'm going to circle y minus. Okay? And then I'm going to write what it says. It says x minus 4, y minus 2. Okay? Now, The next thing we're going to do, I know this one's the bummer, we're going to think, okay? We're going to think about this arrow that we see here. Which way is it pointing? And look, there is no shame. I have no shame in my game, you guys. I must have been absent when we learned about left and right because, no joke, I want you to remember, the one that makes an L is left. The other one is right. I do this all the time. I'm a grown lady and I do it. There's no shame here, okay? So this arrow is pointing left, okay? This arrow here is pointing down, okay? So I always start left or right first and then up or down. Well, I'm going how many units? 4 units left because it says 4 and left. Now I look over here and I'm going 2 units because that's a 2 down. That's my rule. Now I'm not going to take all the points, I'm just going to take 1 point so you can see that that's what's happening. So I have this point here at 2, 3. Okay, so it says x minus 4, y minus 2. Okay, so if I'm going to go 4 left, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 down, 1, 2, and I wind up there. Okay, if I take 2 and subtract 4 from it, I wind up at negative 2. Is my x value negative 2? Yes, it is. If I take my original y value of 3 and I subtract 2, like the rule tells me to, I end up at 1. Is my y value 1? Is my new coordinate negative 2, 1? Yes, it is. Okay, this is how we move. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even necessarily care about what's happening on the graph. Although it is a good visual representation that it tells me that I went 4 left and 2 down. But what matters more, and again, this is the skill that they're expecting you to be able to do in 8th grade, is your ability to go from rule to description to points. They want you to be able to move interchangeably between rules and descriptions and points. So that was a whole lot of talking. Let's try another one. All right, and again, I'm not so concerned about the point, although we can transform a point, and we can do that right now, okay? So it says, the figure was translated blank units blank and blank units blank. All right, so great. It says translated, but I know it was translated because I see right here adding and subtracting. So I know my rule involves translation because I see adding and subtracting. So I'm going to immediately, I'm sorry, I need to use my blue pen. I don't know why. I like the blue pen. I'm going to immediately draw my grid, y plus, y minus, x plus, x minus. And I have, I'm sorry, I did that backwards, x minus, x plus. I'm sorry, you know what, it's been a long day. So x minus. So I have x minus 4, and I have y plus 2. That means I'm going left 4, and this arrow is pointing up 2. So I'm going 4 units left, and I'm going 2 units up. So again, what I would expect to see is when I look at the shape. So remember, let's say I have, and I'm just going to put a point here. Let's say I have like, I don't know, like G. That's the name of my shape, right? I don't know what the points are. There it is. I've got a shape G, right? If this is the rule, what I should see is I should see it going like that. And it may not move that much, but I want to see it going left and up. That's what I should see, left and up. All right? So far, so good? All right, now let's try it going the other way. This time, I'm going to give you words and ask you to, and then we're going to look at, go to a rule, okay? So we do the same thing. It says, now this time they give us all the stuff, they give us all kinds of stuff. It says it was translated 2 units down and 3 units right, okay? So I draw my little thingy. I mean, like, honestly, this is the longest part. And it says it was translated 2 units down, so I'm going to circle the arrow pointing down, and 3 units right, so I'm going to circle the arrow pointing right. And then I'm going to put the numbers. Down had a 2, right had a 3. So my rule is x comma y turns into x plus 3, y minus 2, period. That's it. Okay? All right. I want to show you one, actually, you know what, that's all you might see. That's all you might see. So let's look at some examples of actual, like, multiple choice problems that you might see like this. Okay? So let's look at this one right here. All right? This guy right here is a well, it looks like a translation. The reason I say that is because when I look at this shape, it's shifted down. Now, it could be a reflection, but notice the L and the L are in the same place. If it was a reflection, I would expect, you see how they're not in the same place? It's because they flipped. But this didn't flip, it just shifted. Okay? So I'm going to look, how did I move between that L? Well, I went down. Did I go left or right? No. So my X didn't do anything, but my Y went down. How many? I don't really care. Okay? Again, when I look at my little arrow thing, Y plus, Y minus, X plus, X minus. This thing went down. That's Y minus territory. Well, let's look. Do I see Y minus? Okay, let me find my highlighter. Do I see Y minus? So we're looking at the Y part of the rule. I see a Y. I see Y minus 8. I see negative Y. Now, is minus Y the same thing as negative Y? No, because my rule says Y minus. It doesn't say minus Y. That means this one has to be the answer that I'm looking for. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's try another picture, and then we'll try some words. All right? So this guy right here, it says pentagon. It says a whole lot of words. Okay? And it's asking me which one best describes this transformation. Okay, so first of all, remember, we always point at the weird one. Okay, so let's just look at B. Which one's the one that's got something funny going on? This is the weird one. So I'm going to point. I'm going like that. But remember, I'm going to draw like the whole thing. So I just wanted you to kind of be able to tell this is where I'm going to wind up. So I'm going to go left and down. So left and down. So again, I have Y plus, Y minus, X plus. Well, that means I'm going to have X minus something, Y minus. My rule is going to be an X minus, Y minus. So let's look. This is 10X. This is X minus. That's X plus. I want X minus. X needs to be minus. B is the only one that it could be. I didn't even have to count how far it moved. I just need to know which way it's moving. All right? So now let's look at this one. This is a little trickier, okay, because for this one, I'm sorry, y'all, we got to do math. I know we're not about that life, but you know what? We are in math, so instead of just drawing arrows and looking with our eyeballs, we're going to have to actually do a little bit of work. But it's not bad, okay? So it says triangle X is translated using the rule X plus 7, Y minus 5. What's the ordered pair for Z? Okay, so they give me the rule X plus 7, Y minus 5, and they gave me this point. This point is 5, 2. Remember, this is my X, and that's my Y. So I'm going to take my X. It says X plus 7, so I'm literally going to put plus 7 under there. And it says Y minus 5, so I'm going to put minus 5 under there. Okay? And then I'm going to get my calculator out. And I'm going to say 5 plus 7. And it says 12. So the first part of my coordinate is 12. So I'm going to start eliminating. And before I even had to do any of the weird math, I eliminated to get my answer. Now, I could certainly put 2 minus 5 in my calculator and see that it was also negative 3, but I didn't even have to do that. Because if I eliminate as I go, I'm going to resolve that issue. Let's check this one over here, this last one. We'll do this last one together, and this is going to give us the rule. And this, again, easy, right? Just like those ones we did. It says that it's translated 5 units up and 2 units left, right? So I'm going to do my thing here. Okay, I have my y plus, y minus, x plus. It says 5 units up, 2 units left. So I should have a y plus x minus. I should have, I'm sorry, an x minus y plus. There's x minus y plus. Okay? Again, if you understand how it moves, this isn't a trick. This is the part that you're supposed to understand, is how it's moving and what those rules mean. So if you have any questions, please let me know.